Rogues, issue 2, Joshua Williamson writing with Leo Max on art. And this is a story of two halves, this issue. So last issue, it was, Captain Cold getting the team together and then kind of getting them all involved in a murder at the end so they're all in deep kind of thing.
Yeah, you're in whether you like it or not now.
This issue is very much, the first half is the journey to try and find Gorilla City. And so you get a bit of a montage with them riding in buses, paying for plane tickets, trekking through the jungle, finding the decoy place, which I did love that the trickster realized, this is a decoy, this is a trick. Yep. He figures it out. He's like, this is too easy, and this looks too, I was expecting something bigger than this.
Well, I also love how when they find it, and it's just like a series of treehouse, it looks like, the in the New Planet of the Apes, the society that Caesar created. And I'm like, I've seen Gorilla City before.
Yeah.
It did not look like this. So something's up, and the fact that it made Cold seem like a fool, and it made him question his relevancy again, because that's what caused this all to begin with.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So it's these constant setbacks that are pushing him to go, maybe take things a little bit too far.
Yeah, and I don't want to get into all of them, but there's a lot of nice little moments up to this point where they're on their little boat, and it's like Apocalypse Now, where they're riding down the river, and there's some conversations between him and his sister. There's moments between some of the other characters. Magenta has to pick up the boat to because at first it won't sail because it's like stuck in the land, and
they said they had a boat. You didn't ask if it worked.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh man, and her picking that up and shocking everybody. I thought that was a fun moment.
Yeah, it's good stuff. And then the argument when they find this like decoy, but then the trickster starts laughing, and I love that he figures it out because he plays tricks on people. So they open it up, and it turns out there's like a sort of service tunnel almost to the real Gorilla City. And the big cliffhanger, not cliffhanger, but the big reveal halfway through is that this is the future. Remember, this is not present day Gorilla City. Right. And it turns out that they have built what I would describe as a metropolis underground. This is like a Blade Runner looking city underground, and they're like, whoa, this is completely different from what we were expecting.
Yeah, did you ever have to read Animal Farm?
I did not, no.
So basically, at the end of Animal Farm, it ends that they can't tell the difference between the pigs and the humans because the pigs have become, just another form of it. And it just kept reminding me here, because when you see the gorillas, they've just copied, they were supposed to be advanced and better, right? They've just copied what we did.
Grodd's a guy in a business suit now. He's got a business suit on. They've got meetings like gangsters.
Yeah. Man, so I know sometimes tropey gets used as something that's bad. It's used as a pejorative. This book has been so tropey in all the best ways. Like the heist element, this adventure element of going through the jungle. Now it's become a mob thing, like complete to some of the dialogue, between, like I was, and the design of one of the gorillas, he looks like the Godfather.
Yeah. And Grodd loses his temper for a moment, says, no, that's the old me, I'm civilized now.
Yeah, it's very Tony Soprano-esque.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that going on. And they're talking about how they're trying to... So he's got a wife and kid now, we see them briefly. But there's a lot of, like, he kills another ape because he was going to work with a human to, like, undermine him or something like that. And the wife's like, wait, I'm friends with his wife. Well, how am I supposed to, like, look at her now? And, like, you don't talk to her now. Like, that's it. Like, this ape's, committed a crime. That's us.
You don't know. You don't know him.
So, no, it's all really good stuff. And then we have like the rogues like sort of casing the place out, like looking for where they're actually going to rob stuff from. They find that there's like a big bank, and they do note though that there's like a really big energy reading coming off one of the buildings, so it feels like there's going to be something revealed next issue about maybe someone or something that's in there that isn't just money and gold.
Yeah.
But so they're teasing up mysteries like that. But it's very much a city of the apes where you've got all these gorillas in like security guard uniforms with guns in front of the bank and like all this stuff. So it's like, okay, there's gonna be a really fun heist issue next issue then. Like we're getting back to that, but it's in a really different context to what we probably thought it was going to be.
Yeah, and like was it Trickster goes off and plays cards with a group of them and finds out that their money is gold coins. So they're onto something. So Lynn was partially right um about that. But like the fact like there are some humans in the city so they don't stick out so bad. I did like that little piece.
I really like the moment where like Cole's still trying to, because they're all saying this is much harder than we thought. This is completely different. This is a full city, the security, like what, like we can't do this. And they turn to like Glider and say, like, do you think there's a chance we can actually do this realistically? And I like that it takes like a whole page of her looking around, looking at the city, and she looks up, and then she says F Grodd, and it's like, okay, it's on. They're going to do it. That's the big thing. And then the ending of the issue. Although after Cold has like a panic attack where he sort of slaps himself in the alleyway.
Yeah, so at first I thought he was being attacked by somebody, and then I realized through the art that no, that's his own hands.
Yeah, he's just slapping himself to sort of keep himself like, I don't know, straight and thinking clearly.
He's snapping himself back in.
Yeah, but he's not feeling really great, but he does get hit. He gets knocked down. He gets picked up, and then the detective gorilla like grabs him that we saw earlier on.
From Angel and the Ape.
Yeah. Grabs him and says, "What the hell are you doing here, Cold?" And I don't know, is this the one that was in the flashback in the first issue at the bar that maybe revealed?
Yep. Yeah, that's the one that he was there. He was the one that was talking about Gorilla City.
That makes sense that this is the one that knows him then. Yeah.
Yep. And then the right hand man to Grodd is Gorilla Grimm, who we knew from Nightwing.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Supervillain support group, which I thought that was fun to bring him in. So him being the right hand and kind of the fixer.
Yeah, he's got the more patchwork looking suit jacket, right?
Suit.
Yeah.
Yep. And then Grodd looking like Kingpin, right? And he's got a cut down his eye.
But it's very Kingpin because he's like the mayor of the city, and he's talking about like balancing the budget, but then he also gets angry and like kills an ape. So
right, and he smashes the dude's head with his telepathy, and that's where he's or telekinesis, and it's like, no, we're not doing that. I'm not that anymore. So I just love that all that character development there, and just seeing what Gorilla City's become outside of Solivar, and that they even talk about it's like, oh, we sat on the council. Solivar would have he'd be fine with all this, and it was like, yeah, I don't think so. He was trying to keep you guys from becoming this. So yeah, it's oh man. And so when I say it's tropey, I mean that as a compliment, because this is hitting on all these things that it's a rogues heist now that became a gangster movie, halfway through.
But it was also
super cool.
But it was an adventure thing in the middle before that as well. Like
yeah, exactly.
There's been all these segments to it.
It's cool that and because of comics, you don't question. They all melt together really well. It doesn't feel out of place when it becomes the gangster story. It fits still. Yeah, the tone's still all the same.
Because I expect it'll swing back around to heist because they're actually going to do the heist next issue. But it's been really fascinating to see it go through all these different phases, and
it's like built up the stakes too. Because I feel like there's not whatever has given Grodd the power to take over the city isn't gold, right? It's whatever is powering in that.
Oh, yeah, sure, yeah. And honestly, like not to be negative about other things, but this is easily the best thing Williamson wrote this week. This is a far superior comic book.
When he hits, he really hits. This felt like when Nailbiter was really hitting. How he's balancing different threads. I haven't read
that, so I'm going purely on his DC work. So I wouldn't say he actually hits like this that often. There's only a couple of times he's done that.
Yeah, for me, who's read his a lot of his independent stuff, like again, Nailbiter and Birthright, when those hit, they're top notch, man, great storytelling. So yeah, in his superhero books, it's been rare, but he's done it a couple times. Not like this though. This is the first one I feel. Maybe the Flash special.
It was the annual, I think, in the middle. Annual. It was run when Wally came back properly.
Yeah.
Or it wasn't when Wally came back, but it was when Wally's story got properly explored. Yeah.
That might be the biggest bullseye he's had up to Rogues. But yeah, this is this might be his best DC work thus far.
I think it's part of it is maybe just because it's so focused. It's not confined to like having to like be in continuity or anything like that. So it's just like it's still playing off of his love of a lot of these characters, but it's untethered and doesn't have to worry about setting things up for the future. It's just a contained story that has to set up its own things that it'll pay off by the end of the story, and I think that is really helping. But this is definitely the most thing. This is by far what I've enjoyed the most from Williamson, I think, since the start of his writing in DC. So yeah, I wouldn't doubt him with certain projects, but certainly his in continuity stuff's a bit more, just fine by comparison. So. And the arts again from Leo Max is solid throughout, and he gets us to do so much stuff. We get like this sort of Apocalypse Now style journey in the river and the jungle in the first half, and then we get this like metropolis, like slightly futuristic ape city in the second half. Like
that is somehow still like more like set in the 40s because of the way they're dressed,
because of the suits and stuff.
Yeah. So like it's this mishmash, and it absolutely works.
Yeah. So yeah. It's a very delightful book to look at. The expressions are constantly great. There's a lot of good little moments where, it's usually Cold and Glider more than anyone else who are reacting to each other, but you get these little bits here or there of them. Because there's a moment where Cold's like, "Hey, were you and Bronze Tiger a thing at one point?" And she's kind of just, her reaction to that is really good, and there's like little moments. So, yeah, Rogues issue 2 gets a thumbs up from me. Matt, what are you rating Rogues issue 2?
I'm giving this a 9.
Yeah, I have to agree with a 9. I thought it was excellent.